Can I have a motion to come out of executive session? Thank you, Virginia. Second. Thank you, Matt. All in favor? Motion passes. Could we please rise for the pledge? And while standing, we're going to take a moment of silence for the Ukraine, for Donnie Henderson, our unique and wonderful security guard, and for Dr. Tornatore's brother. I pledge allegiance. Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, so we have the opportunity for our high school students.
Hi, I'm Reichen Kuttner.
Hi, I'm Cole Chapman, and here are a few things going on in the high school. We will be hosting our Spring Financial Aid Information Night on March 24th at 6 p.m. We will also be hosting our Spring College Information Night on March 31st at 6 p.m. Both events will be held in the auditorium. On April 4th, we will be holding an in-school Spring College Fair for all juniors during Period 6 in the gym. 22 of our NJROTC cadets participated in the New York Safe Boaters course offered by the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary. This course will be offered again before the end of the year and possibly in the fall for non-NJROTC students. Congratulations to our NJROTC for their first place finish in the South Old Brain Bowl meet. As a result, they have been invited to represent Area 4 in the NJROTC National Brain Bowl Championships in San Diego this spring. Our Blue Waves News Club has been very active. Please take a moment to view their first 2 episodes, which can be accessed through the high school page on our district website. Congratulations to the following students who were accepted to perform in the Suffolk County Music Educators All-County Ensembles on March 12th. Ethan Caskey, Noah Lake, Andrew Young, Alexandra Santoro, Rose Green, Lillian Garcia, and Morgan Chomsky.
Students enrolled in our Stony Brook University Elective History of Long Island will be attending a field trip to the Cradle of Aviation Museum in Garden City this Friday. The trip ties in perfectly to the course's post-World War II curriculum, in which the students learn all about the Republic and Grumman and their vital roles in aerospace history. The RHS Orchestra is holding a clothing and supplies drive for Ukraine. All items will be donated to St. John the Baptist Ukraine Church of Riverhead and shipped overseas to war victims. There are donation boxes in the auditorium lobby, orchestra, and band room. This year's junior prom will be held at Majestic Gardens in Rocky Point on April 29th. Tickets will be on sale through April 7th. Don't feel like making dinner? Then you don't have to. The class of 2022 will be making and selling beef and cheese empanadas, cooked or uncooked. Cooking directions will be provided in each order. Empanadas are $3 each, and you can order them from March 28th to April 4th and April 11th. Contact the main office for more information. And thank you to Mr. Palmer, and the North Fork Community Theater Board members for generously donating complimentary tickets for members of our Blue Mass to attend a live performance of the Lorami Project at the NFCT Theater on March 11th. Any questions? No?
Thank you guys again. And how do you guys do at ESM tonight?
We could have done better. We'll be there though.
Looking forward to see you guys play this spring.
Thank you.
Thank you. Public comments on agenda items? Not seeing anybody? Dr. Tornatore? Oh.
Good evening, ma'am. My name is Captain Tim McAllister, and I took over the NJROTC program here in September. Haven't had a chance to introduce myself, so I just wanted to say thank you so much to all the members of the board, Dr. Tornatore, Mr. O'Hara, I saw him, there he is. Saw him here. It's a privilege to work here. I absolutely love working with the cadets. I'm coming from the Pentagon. My last tour of duty was with the Joint Chiefs of Staff running the Insider Threat Program. Since we've been here this year, as Rankin mentioned, we won the Southold Brain Brawl competition, which qualified us to go to San Diego this spring. If I read the minutes correctly, that trip has been approved, so I wanted to say thank you. If it hasn't, I'm here to beg for money. Thank you so much. But some of the things we've done this year so far, as I mentioned, we won the Southold Brain Brawl. We competed in the National Academic Exam. We advanced to the second round of the J-Lab, which is also an academic. We placed third in the air rifle competition. We won first place at the Area 4 for the color guard. Our freshman and our senior varsity team combined for North Rockland, we won first place. Currently, we have almost 50% of our cadets, 42 at last count, out of 108 that are on the honor roll. We have 7 cadets enlisting in the military. We have 1 student who's committed to my alma mater, SUNY Maritime, ROTC. We have 2 appointments to the Merchant Marine Academy and 1 appointment to the United States Naval Academy. So I just wanted to say thank you very much. It's about a year, we're not done yet, and I'd like to introduce our CO, Cadet Matt Roth. We'd like to say a few words.
Absolutely, thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the commanding officer of the unit for Riverhead, and I just want to say thank you very much for approving this trip. Like Mr. McAllister said, we're far from done this year. We have the district and spending your time and effort here at all of these board meetings. Thank you very much.
Well, we of course want to thank you, and we're very proud of each and every one of you. Thank you for all that you do for our district. Thank you. Anyone else on agenda items?
Bob Brown, Riverside. I don't know if I'm in or out of order, but I'd just like to let you know that on Friday for Mr. Henderson's services, First Baptist is still practicing social distancing. Masks are required, and your temperature will be taken when you come in the door. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Anyone else? Dr. Tornatore?
Thank you, Ms. Downs. I certainly want to echo as well my appreciation and thanks for all that you do. I'm always amazed every time I meet with the students and we have conversations and about the program, and the district is very, very lucky to have this program for our students, so thank you. I would like to move on as we have our Blue Waves Recognition and Appreciation Ceremony. So, Dr. Kerner.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. These are the honorees for February.
Yes.
So, so without further ado, I guess we'll do professional. Okay. All right. So our first honoree for February, who is being honored tonight in March, is Ms. Nicole Taylor. Are you here, Nicole? And again, the program is established in such a way that your colleagues have nominated you, and this is what they say about you. Let me share. Ms. Taylor works tirelessly to provide support to the teachers and staff in the building, especially the special education department. Ms. Taylor is always there to listen to others, offer advice and guidance. Ms. Taylor goes above and beyond on a daily basis to support the teachers, parents, and students at Riverhead High School. So congratulations, Nicole. We're so proud of you, and I see what you do every day, so thank you so much. So do you want to stand up front? You get to stand there and we'll stare at you for a minute until we... Okay, our second honoree tonight is Ms. Haupt. Is she here, Melissa? All right, come on up. Ms. Haupt is an art teacher at Riley Avenue. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you. She constantly goes above and beyond to make our building great. The artwork she gets out of students is amazing, and she does incredible things with our student council as well. So thank you so much for all that you do inside the art department and outside the art department. So congratulations.
Okay, the next person we'd like to recognize is Linda Doniger from Phillips Avenue. She's a computer lab assistant. Okay, and your coworkers say Linda goes above and beyond when it comes to technology. She assists students and staff in her building with technology and volunteers to help out the technology department when needed. Linda responds to technology issues in calm and respectful manner. Thank you for all you do, Linda. You get there, wait. And from our security department, we have Tim Crump. So, Tim, your coworkers say you're great with the students, always positive, upbeat. He engages with students and is a role model for children. Plus, he's great with the staff. Congratulations, Tim.
Thank you. All right, so we have certificates to give to our honorees tonight, and I would like to thank everyone for continuing to nominate your colleagues. We have over 60 nominations for March, and once those honorees are determined, they will be honored in April. So thank you very much.
No, don't worry about those. They're the stars.
Wait, one more.
It's certainly exciting when we could recognize our employees and all the work that they do for the district, which is leading us next to our transportation department presentation. We have our two co-directors who work diligently every day to make sure that all of our students are transported safely from home to school and from school back to home. So we're going to turn it over to them as they share their presentation this evening.
To Dr. Augustine Tornator, to Ms. Lori Downs, the Board of Ed, and all the distinguished guests this evening. Good evening. So we would like to present our presentation tonight, and at the end we will be open for questions. Everything will be displayed on the left there.
I'm sorry. The Transportation Center operates Monday through Friday, anywhere between 13 to 14 hours a day. We open the gates as early as 5:15, and we're open until the last student is home off of our buses. This is not including the weekend trips that we have this year. They have picked up again, so it's really nice to see that all the students are getting on their buses to do the trips that they well deserve. Our employees start arriving to the bus yard to inspect their vehicles, to fuel the buses, so they could get out on the road safely to pick up our students.
The next slide you will see just gives you a little idea of some of the vehicles we have. So the first vehicle to the left, that is one of our coach-style buses. We don't have enough of those, so if Faith would allow us some more income, and we may be able to buy more for all the trips that we need. Okay, well, we're going to stick with the two for now. The next slide that you see varies of some of the buses we have. In that middle picture, you see we have propane buses, we have diesel, and we have gasoline in some of our vans as well. The third picture, which I rather like, I like the proportion of it, that's one of our large wheelchair buses. That enables us to move more students, special needs students, and get them to BOCES, and it helps us save on drivers. Thank you.
So our fleet consists of 117 buses. We service 7 in-district schools, as well as 14 schools outside, in and outside of our district, private and parochial and charter. We have a combination of large buses, vans, and wheelchair vans. By 7:15 every morning, we have 89 vehicles out on the road servicing our district, covering 100 square miles, which we also go outside of the district as far as Islip Career Center and Port Jefferson Station. This is what family looks like. Combined, we have 152 family members that work in the transportation department. There's myself and Let. We have 86 full-time drivers, 39 monitors. We have 5 mechanics, 7 staff members, including dispatcher, clerical, and safety. From time to time, we have a couple of family members that stop in every once in a while, and they're called our sub-drivers. And some days we would not be able to get through a day if it was not for the 15 sub-drivers that we do employ.
The next slide, you'll see advantages of having your own fleet. So you may want to ask yourself, why do we have our own fleet? Would it be easier just to sublet and have another company come in? The advantage of having your own fleet, as you can see in the picture, if something happens with our buses, from time to time it may, at least we're there. We're there in a hurry. That means the students don't have to be uncomfortable. We get another bus to provide them safe transportation. And this happens in a matter of minutes, where if it was the other way around, we would have to contact whoever we're using. All of that takes time. And what does that mean? That means our students are on side the road. So that is one of the advantages of having your own fleet. The next slide you will see, again, starting to your left, the instrument that I'm actually holding there, that is a propane evacuation system. Now, I took a lovely picture with it. I'm familiar with it, but I'm not trained to use it. That picture is something that we purchased to help us evacuate our propane fuel system. All of our mechanics were sent out, and they were trained on this particular system. It is an excellent system, and it saves us money. We used to have to send our propane buses to Plainview just to have them serviced with the propane evacuation system. We purchased our own. We had our mechanics trained, and it has saved the district a lot of money. The next picture you see, the gentleman that looks like he's holding up the coach-style bus, he's actually one of our head mechanics. He is retiring this year. His name is Kevin Davis. All of our mechanics, they're highly trained, and they do an excellent job. The third picture to your right, that is a picture of our fuel system. We are one of the only districts that carry all 3 fuels on site: gasoline, propane, and diesel. Now, I'm sure you know, with all the things going on, propane, gas, and diesel has risen. And I equate that sort of like this. I was talking to Colette. It's like if you take your diesel pickup truck and you go to the diesel pump, fuel prices for 80 gallons, for 20 gallons may be $80. Well, times that times 20,000. Our buses run in and out, so therefore it's a lot more easier for us to have our fuel systems on site.
What are some of the special requirements that our drivers and monitors are required to have through a number of different departments? School bus drivers and monitors are overseen by the New York State Department of Education, New York State Department of Motor Vehicle, as well as the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administrator. Our drivers are mandated to take safety classes twice a year. They need to do physical performances as well as physicals. They need to do behind the wheel written tests, and they are mandated to be observed while driving students once a year. All drug tests have to, all our drivers have to be registered with the Federal Motor Carrier. So years ago, you can fail a drug test here, go next door, and get hired. That doesn't happen anymore. The minute you walk in our door, you're put onto the federal motor carrier roster. We send you out for a drug test. They get the drug test. So if you fail, you can't go next door anymore and get a job. So that was a loophole in the system for many, many years, and we finally were able to get it tight down, and within the past year and a half, this has been implemented within school bus transportation.
Next slide. The next slide is Transportation Center at midday. So this gives you a good idea of what's happening during the midday. Now, although it's not quite a true picture because we do have kindergarten runs that run. We have pre-K students that go back and forth. So some of the buses are missing. But during this time, if you go to the next slide, the directors of the department, we use this to utilize and carry out other functions. The picture that you see to the left is one of the things that we do. We have to follow our drivers at least once or twice a year. And with a fleet of 117 buses, it takes us just about that time to do the following. The next slide to the right is we get a lot of calls from time to time about bus stop changes. Although just about everyone in the district would love a bus stop at their house, it is just not feasible for the district. So we'll go out and we'll take a look at the stop. In this case, you can tell it would be a dangerous stop to put a stop in the curve. The bus needs at least 300 feet to activate the yellow lights and then turn on the red lights.
Professional learning community. We were fortunate enough to have Dr. Tornatore and Sean Collins come to our tabletop. Our department is one facet of our school organization. We consider our work important. We believe in continuous growth through learning best practices from others in the school transportation industry, and then giving back to our department what we have learned from the different organizations that we participate in. For an example, Suffolk County NIAP, which I've been the sitting president for the past 2 years, has assisted many school transportation departments throughout the pandemic, including Riverhead.
So what are some of the future plans for the transportation department? Well, there it is. Maybe electric buses. We took the advantage. We had an electric bus come to our site. We drove it around. If this is the way the district would go in the future, we have already started looking into it. Now, current prices of an electric school bus roughly run around $350,000. Scary number, I know. But for buses that are 2009 and older, we get a $200,000 rebate. So that would put us right around the general price of a new school bus anyway. So just wanted to share that information, and in the future, if we go that way, we're ready. Why electric school buses? They're healthier for the environment. All of our vehicles are safer, so that's just a general term, and they're more economical. At least for right now, they seem to be more economical. But again, we are ready for the future, and we intend to keep moving forward. We would like to thank, again, Dr. Tornatore, Ms. Lori Downs, the Board of Ed, and all the distinguished guests assembled today for our letting us share our presentation with you.
And thank you for your continued support for our department. It's much appreciated from everyone. Thank you.
Are there any questions from the board members?
I just want to say thank you. I know you guys put in long hours every day. It's down to dusk, but I know it's after dusk for when some of our sports teams get back, and it can get late at night. And I really appreciate the time you guys put in. And our drivers. Our drivers are unsung heroes, I think. They do a great job. They make the kids comfortable on the bus. I know, having a granddaughter who just started in school this year, getting her on the bus the first time, it was really nice to have a bus driver that was comforting and made her feel safe right off the bat. So please pass our thanks on to them. And again, thank you guys for the work you do.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle. Absolutely. Thank you.
No, I was just going to say thank you also. And for a lot of times, it's not just myself, but I hear my neighbors, we call, and you guys are very gracious, especially when there's panicked phone calls, like, where's my child or whatever. So, and then you get right back to us, so thank you. And then, to bring up with the electric buses, I know that Governor Hochul has talked about she's saying by 2035. So it is, you know, we'll see where that goes, but it's something we're going to have to plan for. So,
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I was glad that you guys mentioned the TSA training that I was very lucky to have been able to sit on just viewing a few weeks ago. Really, the entire transportation department should be commended for the work that the employees did during that training. There were members of the transportation department as well as representatives from security and the Riverhead Police Department all working together. And it really shows that, I mean, our district takes our student safety incredibly seriously. So I just want to say that I wish that more people could have attended, but I mean, obviously there are limits to that kind of program. And then actually kind of piggybacking on what Ms. Healy was saying, you're mentioning electric buses. I'm really glad that you guys brought that up. Do you have kind of an estimate about maybe at what point you would want to start replacing buses with electric?
Well, right now, the people that we know in the industry are saying, let them roll out a while. Let all the kinks get out of the buses before we start making any major purchases. So let them roll for at least 5 years, and then we can move forward that way.
Excellent, thanks.
Colin?
Yeah.
It looks like a Sean.
One other thing, I do agree with our coach-style buses. We need more. They look great. It looks, when we pull into another school with those, everybody is jealous of Riverhead. The last New York State School Board Association, when we had it on display, it was nice seeing districts from all over the state looking, wow, Riverhead, and seeing that bus on display there. So it'd be nice to have a few more.
Thank you.
How much is that? Anyone else? Yeah.
All right. Thank
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again for the presentation and for everyone in the transportation department. Every time I go visit, I see how hard everybody's working, and you all do a great job. So thank you very much for that. Okay, moving on to our next presentation, we have the Cafeteria Capital Reserve presentation. So I'll be passing that off.
Hello, Dr. Tornatore. Thank you, Dr. Tornatore, Board of Education. I'm here tonight with Keith Graham, our Director of Food Services, to ask the Board of Education to put on an additional proposition at the budget hearing on May 17th to allow us to use monies from our 2018 Cafeteria Capital Reserve. In 2018, the Board of Education, the district, created a Cafeteria Capital Reserve to fund future improvements to the cafeteria program. The voter approval is required to use the monies within this fund. I'm asking that we put an additional proposition up to the voters to allow us to use $66,000 for the purchase of a walk-in refrigerator at Phillips Avenue and 2 warming cabinets at the high school and 2 milk coolers at Riley Avenue. There's no tax levy impact on the use of these funds. They're held in reserve, but voter approval is required for us to be able to access them. Mr. Graham here will tell you a little more about the items we'd like to purchase.
Hi, good evening. Thank you. Phillips Avenue, we'd like to add a walk-in refrigerator to the kitchen. Phillips Avenue is our largest daily participating school in our program in the district, even though it has one of the smallest kitchens in the district. Breakfast in the Classroom program, one of the greatest programs we have here. That program packs 27 coolers every morning that are delivered to classrooms. Students come down the hallway, they pick their coolers up, walk them down to their classrooms, everybody gets breakfast together. The coolers are packed a day prior, so this way in the morning when the staff comes in, if there's any shortages, someone doesn't show up, we're shorthanded that day, breakfast is already packed, we don't have to worry. Breakfast can get in the coolers without having to prepare anything that morning. Then they begin to prepare breakfast for the next day. With that, there's 27 coolers get packed into 27 boxes. They have to be packed in numerous reach-in refrigerators and milk chests throughout the kitchen and cafeteria. Phillips Avenue gets over 55 cases of milk delivered to that school every week. With all that milk coming in on 3 times a week, we have less room to hold things such as fresh fruit, produce, and other dairy items. Workspace in the kitchen is minimal. Reach-in refrigerators take up a lot of space inside the kitchen. They would be moved out to make room into the space where we're going to put the walk-in refrigerator. Extra kitchen equipment that we need at the high school here, we have 2 serving lines. We need 2 additional warmers to support both of those serving lines. Riley Avenue School, we need 2 milk coolers. One is needed to replace an aging milk cooler that is located on the line right now, and an extra one is needed due to increased participation in the breakfast program there. Those of you who have been to Riley Avenue, you know that kitchen is even smaller than Phillips, so we're kind of running out of space there as well. Does anyone have any questions regarding the proposal?
Where was the walk-in refrigerator going to go?
In the back of the kitchen, there is a small staff restroom. We're going to have that restroom demolished and have a walk-in refrigerator placed into that space. I think you've been there in the past.
Yeah,
during
I was
our
trying to
cafeteria
visualize. I
tours.
remember you guys were thinking
Right, and-
like outside where the kids were eating, and so I was wondering where this was going to
Right, so
go.
there is that room that's basically the last space available inside the
Yeah.
kitchen where we can put some form of refrigeration equipment that is desperately needed for the program.
So I did just want to stress again that with Proposition 2, that there would be no tax levy impact. Ms. Caglione, can you please explain that a little bit further so that everybody understands why there would be no tax levy impact increase?
Yes, New York State allows the school district to create certain reserves for different purposes. This reserve that we created in 2018 was Cafeteria Capital Reserve. So the Board of Education, the reserve was created, but New York State requires that voters have to approve the monies anytime we want to go use the funds. So the money is already in possession of the district in basically a savings account, and it's outside of the general fund. It's outside of taxes. It was generated originally from the operations of the cafeteria account, and to be able to access it to improve and sustain our program, we asked for voter approval. And like I said, no tax levy impact, completely outside of the general fund, and the monies are within the district, already owned by the district.
Thank you for that. Mr. Graham, thank you and your team for all that you do. It's certainly wonderful as I visited all 7 buildings and all 7 cafeterias to see the fresh food and the nutritious food that is available to our students. So your team does a great job in serving our students, so thank you. Okay, and we move on to our last presentation, which is the budget presentation. This has been a series of budget presentations that we have presented to the board.
Thank you, Dr. Tornatore. Tonight I'm going to continue my discussion on the proposed 2022-2023 budget. All right. One of these days I'm going to get this. Okay. So, all right, you see my whole presentation already? I need to know how to go in reverse here. Oh, thank you. Okay. In our prior presentations, we discussed the budget development process, what goes into a budget. Budget has two sides, revenues and expenditures. The expenditure budget is what the voters will be voting on in May. District priority for this budget was to stay below the tax limit. At prior meetings, we went over the tax levy limit history, and we reviewed the budgets for general support service, debt service, facilities, security, transportation, curriculum and instruction administration, regular day school, and employee benefits. Tonight, we're going to go over the budgets for special education, technology, other instructional areas, and interfund transfers. We're going to discuss revenue, which includes state aid or tax levy, and use of reserves. Our special education budget, you'll see our entire budget for special education is approximately $23.5 million. The major increase in special education was through personnel. These are for increases from staff that's been hired this year, which includes facilitators and additional special education teachers and additional staff that will be coming in for next year based on anticipated needs, as well as contingencies for additional students and, and additional classroom teachers that we may need. We have contractual equipment just decreased a little bit based on prior expenditures, and contractual increase decreased a little bit after my discussions with the Director of Special Education and the projected expenses for outside contractors for next year. Our BOCES code did increase 7.5%. This is based on our anticipated enrollment for students that will be going to programs at BOCES for special needs. This is most of those students that go to BOCES, those are full day services. So special education at a 10.41% increase. Technology, personnel rolled over. The increase is based on current staffing and contractual increases. We have approximately a $350,000 decrease in equipment. This is mostly to a reallocation of equipment monies to the BOCES code to allow us to pay for printers and computers that we now be purchasing through BOCES. Contractual increases for network security services and technology consultant services. Our BOCES increased $747,000. This is for technology security, technology support, integrated tech specialists, and makerspace technology. Materials and supplies are for makerspaces that will be being implemented in the buildings throughout the district. The overall increase for technology was approximately $700,000. Other instructional areas, ENL, we have the main increase for that is 3 additional FTEs and contractual increases. For career and tech education, these are our students that go to career and tech ed through BOCES. This is based on actual enrollment, and BOCES uses a 3-year average. So they provide us with the number of students and the rates that we will be charging, that we are going to be charged through BOCES. Summer school and other instructional services, this went down a little bit. Some of these summer school programs are going to be supplemented through grants, federal grants that the district has received. Our library services went up with 1 additional FTE, as well as slight increase for BOCES services that we contract for library. Guidance and attendance, this went up approximately $92,000. We have 1 additional FTE, as well as contractual increases. Nursing, this is increase in salaries, and this is based on the current staffing that is being rolled over into the new year. Approximately $182,000 increase there. Counseling and PPS, this is psychological, social work, and PPS services. Increases in personnel based on current staffing. Extracurricular, no change really in there. Athletics, contractual increases. Stipends for with creating a new program for women's golf. There's new money in the budget for equipment and new defibrillators throughout the district. Each one of these programs, these discussions went through the directors and the building leaders, and to arrive at the best budget that we could in the most efficient way possible. Interfund transfers. The first transfer is transfer to federal fund. What this is the district is responsible for 20% of the cost of the extended school year for special education program. The additional 80% is covered by, is between the federal and New York State government. So based on current enrollment and prior year history, we did not increase this budget line. Transfer to capital. This is the first time, not the first time, but we did not have a line item for this transfer last year. This $1.4 million is to allow the district to do our district-wide security infrastructure. By creating this $1.5 million transfer into our budget, it allows us to do the project the following year. There would be no tax levy impact on it. We would be using funds that are remaining from the existing 21-22 school year. It would the transfer to capital represents the technology security project. The security of our students, staff, and community is the top priority for our district. After discussions with Dr. Tornatori and our head of security, we realized that the district can't continue the demand on our personnel to cover every door and access point throughout the building is constantly increasing. So by having this capital project, it would allow us to leverage technology which would be in the best interest of the district's future. This project would be the first phase of our security technology upgrade. Security technology will be upgraded in secondary buildings first, and then followed by the primary schools in future budgets. Increased security in parking areas, outdoor athletic facilities is a priority. Door access and door monitoring will first be implemented in secondary schools. Software upgrades will be performed district-wide to upgrade our camera system. The transfer will be funded through funds remaining in the 21-22 school year and is reflected in the transfer to capital expenditure line. This is based on my current analysis of what I expect will be available this year, and the reason this is a good use for these funds is because this money will not be here in future years. You don't want to use it for a program that's anything other than a one-time expenditure. You wouldn't want to take this money and use it for staffing or anything like that, because then you would have to sustain that same amount of money in your budget every year. We have worked with our architects to obtain the quotes and estimates for this budget, for this project. We initially were hoping to be able to do all access controls, door monitoring, camera upgrades for the entire district. The initial quotes from the architect came up much higher than we had expected. So the current quote of $1.5 million is what we would hope to get the middle school and high school done. But like I said, there will be some items that would be district-wide, which would include the initial investment in the software. This is just an overall of our proposed budget summary, the whole year for all expenditures. The budget would be $170,544,710. This is an $11,137,097 increase, or a 6.99% increase budget to budget. Now we're going to go into revenue. One of the major components of our revenue is the tax levy. As you will see, our prior tax levy was, I can't read it, 104. $104,541, $394. The proposed tax levy for this year is $105,586, $808. This is a 1% increase. As you can see, and as we discussed in previous budget meetings, when we use the New York State tax levy limit calculation, we are allowed to go up to a 2.27% increase, but that is not the direction the district wanted to go. We wanted to make sure we stayed below the tax levy limit. So to be able to still increase the programs, add the 9-period day, and continue to improve our schools and make all the necessary, meet the needs of the district, we're suggesting at this point in time a 1% increase levy. This would mean that's $1,329,874 that we are not levying, that we would be allowed to within the tax levy limit.
Faith, can I ask a quick question right
Sure.
here? Our proposed tax levy is what?
105,586.
No, the percentage.
1%?
1%? Because when I read in the news this week, I was led to believe it was a 5% increase, so that would be incorrect?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe we'll get a retraction or a correction this week in the
Was
news
it-
that it's only a 1%?
I didn't even see that. I don't know where they would have received that information from.
I hope we get a retraction this week.
Was it in Newsday?
I'm not going to say which news outlet, but they know who they are.
Yes, no, we wouldn't. That would mean Pearson the cap, and that was never even on the table. Like I said, the district is doing a lot of great things, a lot of improvement. We're actually, from my short time in the district, I realized that over the last few years, you have done a lot with very little, and I think your increased state aids is just getting the district to, really starting to give you a good footing. And this 1% is needed at this point in time, is needed for that, to allow the district to, to bring the programs in that they want. But definitely not a 5% increase.
Thank you.
Here we'll just go over, these are the different areas that we receive in state aid. As we discussed in prior meetings, we have an overall increase of approximately 18%, which is $8.4 million. This has resulted mostly from an increase in foundation aid, which I believe this New York State they had a formula for the calculation, but they hadn't been using it. So last year, for 21-22 and 22-23, you received a significant increase in state aid based on the New York State formula. District's use of reserves and fund balance. District's use of reserves, last year we used a total of $911,536 in reserves. I'm recommending that we maintain that same amount to be used for the next year, as well as appropriated fund balance. Well, appropriated fund balance, I shouldn't say, will increase the $1.5 million that I am recommending for us to use for the technology capital project. So the reserves will, actually I have this wrong. It says they'll go up slightly less than last year, but it's actually staying the same as last year. I apologize, I didn't update that part. And appropriated fund balance will just increase for the security capital project. And this money it kind of goes hand in hand. So when we have money left over this year, by using it next year as almost kind of a one-time revenue, it allows us to get a much-needed project done in a very timely manner without an additional tax levy increase. This is the proposed revenue budget. As you see, property tax levy of a 1% increase, state aid 18% increase, reserves appropriated fund balance 42% increase. This is entirely matches with the increase in expenditures related to the security capital project. Our pilots are increasing about 110,000. This is what we use for this estimate is what we expect to get this year. We use that as our estimate rolling forward. Tuition and intermunicipal agreements went down slightly. We had a little less. We contract with some other schools to provide busing services, and one of those contracts went down for the upcoming year. Reimbursements and refunds went up 50,000. This is based on prior history and analysis. Interest and donations, miscellaneous remaining the same, and other aids going up approximately $13,000. Once again, this is based on history and current analysis of what we expect to receive this year. So overall, $11,136,097 increase in revenue, 6.99% budget-to-budget increase. You'll see on the bottom, UPK grant, federal funds. I included this on here because that is on the printout if you go into the New York State website to look at our state aid. If you look at the governor's runs, this grant money is included in the governor's runs, but this is not part of our general fund. So I just wanted to show it so we could so if anybody wanted to tie into the New York State website, but the UPK grant is run through our federal grant, ran through our federal grants. What's next? On April 12th, we'll do a final state aid projection based on the governor's budget. April 1st, the governor releases the final state budget, so if there's any significant changes, I'll present them to you on April 12th. We'll have a final budget review and budget adoption. May 10th is our public hearing on the proposed budget, and May 17th is our budget vote. Also, between April 12th and May 10th, Dr. Tornatore and I will be doing some community presentations, but we don't have the whole schedule set up yet. So hopefully at the next meeting, I'll be able to provide you with that schedule. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you for working diligently with me to put this budget together. I truly appreciate it. And thank you, Mr. Dorr, for making that statement as well, because we do want to let the public know that even though we are able to go up to a 2.27 increase to stay under the tax cap, we are asking the board to adopt the 1% tax levy increase. We certainly are aware that gas prices are high, there's inflation, but we have to balance the needs of our students, and we want to make sure that we have everything in place for them next year so that they are successful. And as I did make a promise when I met with the staff on opening day. I said one of my goals was to present a very conservative tax levy increase. Certainly, we were trying to get as close to a 0% or a 0.5% as possible, but with the 1%, we will be able to do everything that we need to for our students. And additionally, I will say that we will continue to seek out more grants so that we could offset the general fund with that. And of course, next year, we will really be at a good place with staffing. So once we get past that point, we really intend to be extremely conservative, and so that we would have more fund balance to offset the tax levy for next year. For the next school year as well. So I did just want to share that out again. So we are looking for a 1% tax levy increase at this time. So there's a few other items that I would like to share with the board. The first item is on new business. I believe it's item C. It does mention about a lease agreement. When I came to Riverhead, I heard from many people that there is not enough classroom space in the district. but I also understand the history with bond referendums and how things have gone historically. So I was trying to find a solution where I would be able to obtain more classroom space for our students. And we looked specifically at the high school because we know that the high school has historically had this situation with the concern of classroom space. So the current portables that are used for the PPS office, in the past, they were used as classrooms for our students. So we contacted SED. We ensured that we still are able to use that space. And with this lease agreement, the district office would be packing up and moving to the rental property because I felt that I wanted to have the least impact on our students. So I said, let's move the district office. And so with this lease agreement, we will be able to move the district office to this new location. With the owners of the property, they agreed that they would be absorbing the costs of fixing up the space, I believe up to $180,000, where they are able to renovate the office space to make it suitable for the district office team. Once that happens, we will be moving over to that location. PPS will be coming over to our location, and we will have minimal changes there because, again, we are very cognizant about the costs. So I did meet with the director of PPS, and we sat down and mapped out where the staff would go in the pre-existing spaces. So again, it would not be additional costs. And then the current space that PPS is located in, we will be able to recapture those 8 classrooms. So having these 8 additional classrooms will certainly help the high school. Will certainly help with the 9-period day and offer more opportunities for our students, especially too as we are going to be fully implementing the alternative school. We're going to be doing it in stages. So there's a lot of great things that would come out of this lease agreement. And we would be able to capture the space relatively quickly at the lowest possible cost. So that is on the agenda tonight, and I'm asking if the board would be able to approve that. It certainly is something that is needed for our students, and we really would like to be able to make this happen for next year. So before I move on to other items, I did want to ask if there were any questions from the board regarding the lease agreement, because I know it is on the agenda for this evening.
I think you just answered, because I was looking at the contract, the cost. So those, besides the lease, that additional is going to be absorbed. We're not paying for that. That is.
That's correct.
Okay. I just wanted to double check. Thank you.
So in addition to that, I did want to share a few other items. We're very happy to report that we have our TV news station, the Blue Waves News. They are on the website. If you go under the high school tab and you look under Blue Waves News, they have the recordings from our journalists. So we're very excited to have been able to launch that. And I did just want to wrap up with sharing some wonderful news from our buildings. So from the middle school, on Wednesday, March 16th, the Riverhead Middle School GSA Club attended the 26th Annual Youth Conference at Citi Field. At the conference, 24 middle school students attended workshops on topics such as youth advocacy skills, charging up their GSA, LGBTQ history, healthy relationships, anti-bullying, and the role of bystanders in social justice. It was a powerful day filled with networking, education, connection, empowerment, and celebration. The students had a really wonderful time, and they cannot wait to attend again next year. At Riley, they are having their PARP week this week. It includes Spirit Week as well. They're having a readathon with reading goals, and the Parents Association is sponsoring a book fair too. It's also New York Agricultural Literacy Week, and our third graders are having guest speakers, including volunteers reading books with agricultural themes. Riley also hosted a virtual visit from the CEO of Archie Comic Books for our third grade students. I'm sure that was a great time. He provided tips on how to create characters and write stories. At Roanoke, these students exceeded their reading week goal by 50,000 minutes and read from March 7th through the 11th, 110,917 minutes. So we're very proud of them. This is the second most ever read number. In the past 12 years, the students have been challenged during Reading Week, so congratulations to those students. At Phillips Avenue, we wanted to share that the students are working hard to create a garden in their outdoor courtyard. They dug in to clean out the flower beds and prepared them for planting, and we want to congratulate the students and staff that are supporting this beautiful effort at Phillips Avenue. And at Aquabog, the students recently came together to celebrate the Students of the Week for the month of February with a surprise performance from the cast of the high school's production of SpongeBob the Musical. As part of the social emotional learning program, the character trait of the month they're recognizing this month is celebration, as they look to move past mere acceptance and tolerance of differences toward truly sharing and celebrating what makes each of us unique. The Aquabog PTO ran its first school dance since the pandemic last week. The beach theme was a hit, and we thank the PTO for providing this wonderful opportunity for our students to connect. So a lot of great things going on in our buildings.
Thank you, Dr. Tornatore. We're going to go into consent agenda. Can I have a motion? Thank you, Matt. Could I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Colin. All in favor? Motion passes. New business, letter A, call for special district meeting. This is the meeting for the budget vote. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Virginia. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Colin. Any questions, cares, or concerns? Not seeing any. All in favor? Motion passes. Letter B, approval of cafeteria proposition on the ballot for May 17th, 2022 special district meeting. Can I have a motion? Motion. Thank you, Chris. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Colin. Any questions, cares, or concerns? Not seeing any. All in favor? Motion passes. Approval of lease agreement. Can I have a motion? Motion. Thank you, Matt. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Virginia. Any questions, cares, or concerns? Not seeing any. All in favor? Motion passes. Letter D, approval of memorandums of agreement. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Colin. Thank you, Chris. Second. Thank you. Any questions, cares, or concerns? Not seeing any. All in favor? Motion passes. Approval of cooperative bids. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Virginia. Could I have a second? Thank you, Matt. Any questions, cares, or concerns? Not seeing any. All in favor? Motion passes. Approval of contracts. Letter F. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Virginia. Could I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Colin. Questions, cares, concerns? All in favor? Motion passes. Renewal of contract. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Matt. Could I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions, cares, or concerns? Not seeing any. All in favor? Motion passes. Approval of change order. Letter H. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Thank you, Colin. Could I have a second? Thank you, Matt. Any questions? Not seeing any. All in favor? Motion passes. Letter I, approval of EBLAR. Can I have a motion, please? Motion. Thank you, Chris. Can I have a second? Thank you, Colin. Questions, cares, concerns? Seeing none. All in favor? Motion passes. Approval of field trip. Can I have a second? Thank you. Questions?
Yes.
Absolutely
yeah, sure.
good luck. All the luck in the world. All in favor?
Hold on.
Motion
Do Riverhead
passes.
proud. and Come back in with a win, all right?
Amendment 2, approval of field trip. Could I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Colin, could I have a second? Thank you, Matt. Questions? Cast concerns? Not seeing any? All in favor? Motion passes. We want you guys to get out there and really do it. You've been doing a great job, and we're very proud of you. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to opportunity for board members. Do we have any committee reports? No committee reports? Anything else the board needs to say? Anybody have any? Go ahead, Colin.
I was glad that the high school representatives mentioned this, but a week and a half ago I was in the audience for the North Fork Community Theater's production of the Laramie Project, and I was also there with 45 members of Riverhead Blue Masks who came to attend the show. It's not a light show. If any of you are not familiar with it, Laramie Project is a piece of documentary theater about the murder of Matthew Shepard, the University of Wyoming student who in 1998 was attacked and robbed, mainly because of his homosexuality. And those students had not only a full day of school, where that was the day where they were going around from school building to school building, introducing their SpongeBob the Musical characters, performing for kids, then rehearsing for the show, then having a quick dinner, then going to a 3-hour show. And I have to tell you, they were the most well-behaved audience I have ever seen in my life, the most attentive audience, which is, I mean, especially for a long show like that, their minds weren't wandering at all, and they got so much out of it. I was just really, really happy that they were able to get that opportunity.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? Okay. All right. RCFA? Do you have something, Lisa?
No, Jen's here.
Oh, hi.
Good evening, Jen Samoas, RCFA Vice President. I'd like to start by welcoming our new school psychologist, Ashley Gabriel, to the Riverhead School District. I'm sure Ashley will quickly learn that she's surrounded by a very talented team of professionals who are here to support her and help her grow in her craft. So welcome, Ashley. And on behalf of the RCFA, I'd like to offer condolences to the family of Donald Henderson, as we hope his family finds peace and comfort during this difficult time. We too share in their sadness. Don was a familiar face. He was a constant in the Riverhead School District for many years. He was cordial, kind, and he was a mentor to many of our students. So our thoughts are with his wife and his family, and he will be sorely missed. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right, we're going to go into public comment. And although state law does not require it, we have chosen to listen to our community. You must remember that this is our business meeting held in public, not a public meeting. The board is here to listen, not to have a discussion. I would also like to point out that under state and federal privacy laws, we are unable to entertain any questions or comments about school personnel. That has been a law for numerous years. We will now entertain comments from the public. Set aside 20 minutes at 3 minutes per speaker. Please, when you come up to the podium, state your name, township, and if you're with an organization, please state the organization's name.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jeremy Rand. I have 2 students at Phillips Avenue School. I'm here to celebrate Mr. Crump Day. Mr. Crump was awarded a prestigious award tonight. I'm also here to get him back at Phillips Avenue School. Dr. Tortori, the last time we were here, we came here with letters and we came here with signs, and we asked you so nicely, we begged you to have Mr. Crump back. But before we even came up here, you gave a little speech. And you said that, it was a tough decision and that the board backed you. And it was almost like you were shutting us down before we were even able to get up here. I thought it was cold. I took it personal. I'm a military man. I shoot from the hip, and I speak from the heart. You respond more to that newspaper, Riverhead Local, and then Riverhead News, to the community's needs. You are more worried about people listening on your private conversations in your office than you are listening to the needs of the community. Now, we spoke, and I wrote a letter, and my wife rewrote it because it wasn't appropriate. She said that, we needed a male security guard. We didn't have one. And the next day, not 9 o'clock in the morning, she called the security office to find out about what's going on with our not having a male security guard. And the security officer said, "Oh, ma'am, you're going to have a male security guard by this afternoon. We have one coming." So therein lies the problem. You see, you knew you made a mistake by taking away our male security guard. You tried to fix that mistake by bringing in a new one. You didn't bring Mr. Crump back. I don't know why. Maybe it was something that, personal. I'm not sure. But you realized you left Phillips Avenue vulnerable without a male security guard. And in an instant, you replaced and had us a replacement the next day. He's there now. He's not Mr. Crump. We're not happy about that. Mr. Crump is our family. I'm here to speak for our family at Phillips Avenue. I understand that, there's a lot of issues going on in this community and in this school, but right now I don't believe you're listening to us. We're trying to very, very nicely speak to you from the heart and to say, look, Mr. Crump isn't just a security guard. He's our dad. He's their father figure. A lot of those kids at that school don't have father figures, and Mr. Crump is. And I noticed that you wanted the middle school students to have a special relationship that would be impacted by Mr. Crump and by his presence. But what about the impact of him leaving Phillips Avenue? I know he's a great security guard. He's probably the best in the business. And he's probably needed at the middle school, but he's needed more with us. And I don't think you really took in consideration our hearts and our minds. And the reason I know that is because of that speech that you gave before we got up here. And again, really set me off. I spoke to Riverhead Local and I spoke to Riverhead News, and it seems like when that paper says something, you do something. Because the next day, you saw it in the paper that we didn't have a male security guard, and it was all hell broke loose. And before you know it, we have one. And you also said in the paper that we misspoke about Mr. Crump's duties at the middle school. Well, we know what his duties are. I'm not going to get into it, but we know what his duties are. And they're not to check names into the bathroom. They're not to roam the hallways of the middle school. His job is to be at Phillips Avenue. That award was awarded to him tonight from Phillips Avenue, from the family of Phillips Avenue, presented to him, not from the middle school, but from us. So please, we're begging you. We really are. Bring Mr. Crump back. It's not a coincidence.
Excuse me, but your 3 minutes is up.
Thank you. But we're here for a reason for Mr. Crump, and I believe tonight you should bring him back. Thank you very much.
You.
God bless everybody. Thank you for your service, sir.
Anybody else?
Hi, my name is Laura Newadomsky, and I am from Flanders as well. I agree with everything what Mr. Rand said, and we appreciate if you would all take that into consideration, but that is not why I'm standing up here this evening. I was listening to the conversations that you were, or the discussion about moving district office to a new location and renting. And I just wanted to ask if it was ever brought up or thought about the area across from Phillips Avenue School that the district already owns, and if the district had thought of maybe building instead of renting. I mean, it's in Southampton town, which is, it's still part of Riverhead, but just wondering if that was ever thought of, or if not, if it could be thought of.
In order to go to Southampton and build, we'd have to have a bond. And right now is not the time for a bond, as the board doesn't see it the right time to put out a bond to build.
Even if you were to build in Riverhead, you would still be in the same position, correct?
Possibly, yeah, but it wouldn't be right now.
Okay, so, but it's something that possibly could be thought of. That's the only reason I'm saying is
Oh,
that,
of course, we all know that there's issues not just only in the high school with classroom space and stuff. There's issues in every building. Every building has it. But right now, we're able to move over to a rental space, and we could move them over, and we could take back what we originally set up years ago for 8 classrooms. And at that time, when it started to go down, that's when we made it into PPS.
okay. It's, like I said, it's just something to think about since we own the land.
Absolutely.
And definitely the property taxes, as somebody who lives in Southampton Town and recently purchased a house in Southampton Town, I could afford more of a house in Southampton Town than I could in Riverhead because the taxes are so high. So it's just something to think about. I know the Phillips Avenue family would be more than happy to welcome, those from the district office to our town. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else? No one else? Have a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Matt. Second. Thank you, Virginia. All in favor? Motion passes. You have a good evening, everybody. Safe travels home.
Good luck, guys. Good luck.
Please help support the Riverhead Central School District YouTube channel by subscribing. If you are not already subscribed to this channel, please be sure to push that subscribe button and click the bell to receive notifications. Thank you.